Welcome everyone to our podcast. My name is Milton Rivera, and for me, it's an honor and a privilege to be over here sharing with you through social media and through different platforms. I don't know where all of this may end up, but I'm hoping that you could stay with us in this broadcast and and basically just hear how we shed light on a question that nobody wants to ask. And we're going to be talking about Neuralink, humanity, and of course, the question that no one wants to ask. So, uh, I just want to start by saying that we're living in moments where technology is no longer just around us, but is starting to move into us. For years, technology lived in our pockets. Now the conversation is about putting it inside the human being. Tonight or today or tomorrow, whenever you are watching me, um, I am not saying that Neuralink is the mark of the beast. All I'm saying, also, I'm not saying that Elon Musk is the Antichrist. Hello, please don't misconstrue what I'm trying to do here. But what I'm asking is whether technology like this could be, listen to me, could be something the Bible warned us about. Sorry, this is bringing a lot of distraction to me. So we're going to divide this in three different parts, three different episodes. Today, I'm going to be tacking on what is Neuralink. I just want to give you the info. Okay. You probably heard about it before. Just hear me out. All I'm asking is just stay to the end, hear me out, and share this content if you think it's worthy of sharing. My episode 2 is going to be, should Christians be concerned? Should we be concerned about Neuralink? And then the last one is going to be the biblical prophecy, Antichrist systems, and the final warning. But before you reject the idea, just understand technology. So you guys ready? Thumbs up. All right, here we go. Neuralink is a company developing brain computer interface technology. What are you saying? Okay, well, their goal is to create direct connection between the human brain and computers. The idea is to implant a very small device into the brain. These are their initial stated goals. See, they want to help people with paralysis, they want to restore movement, treat neurological disorders, and also assist those with brain injuries. You see what I'm getting at? This is what I need you to understand. Technology usually starts with healing, okay? It starts with helping people. But historically, healing technologies often involve into enhancement technology. Like, see? So what start as optional rarely stays optional. So basically, when they say they help people with paralysis, this is what I understand is that people that aren't able to communicate are going to be able to communicate through a computer monitor, maybe, or maybe they'll get a box in their chest where this computerized system will basically, through their thoughts, will be able to communicate with their relatives, with their family members or friends, etc., etc. I mean, that's what I understand that maybe is what they're trying to do. I mean, I'm not a scientific person. I'm not into science or anything like that. So that's all I can tell you. Um, it also says to treat neurological disorders. Um, Maybe a person that has low self esteem or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Neurological disorders. Um, Restore movement. I think that is to people who have had problems, with their brain sending signals to the rest of the body to move. I guess eventually they'll be able to restore that. Um, I don't know. To me, it sounds like man playing God. Maybe. I'm not. Now, I want you to understand. I'm not against it. I am not for it because I don't know. A lot of these things is very scary. I mean, it's just me, but it's very scary. It's a lot of science fiction, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Comment below and tell me what you think, what you're thinking. This is a conversation starter. I'm just trying to conversate here and get your opinion on what you see, and maybe if there's somebody out there who has better information than what I have, hey, by all means, post it. Heck, I would even love to bring you to this podcast and have you give your point of view and explain to us a little bit better what we're trying to do. Hey, if Elon Musk wants to come on this podcast, and I don't see that happening, but I mean, if he wants to come and do it, hey, I'm more than happy to accommodate that and maybe explain to us what is basically all of this. But restored movement to me, it means that maybe the person will be able to have some movement in their body eventually, and assist those with brain injuries. Maybe if you've been in a car accident or something like that, and you have developed certain brain injuries or stuff like that, maybe it'll help you heal that. I mean, you know, uh, I'm just saying that what start as an optional rarely stays optional. I mean, cell phones were optional, and now all of a sudden it's like everybody needs it. If you leave your phone somewhere, you're like, oh my God, I left my phone, I left my life. I heard that a lot from people, doing what I do, in the secular world. I don't do this full time. I have a job, and sometimes people leave stuff in my car, especially cell phones, and they're like, "Hey, could you bring it back?" It's a, you have my life, So I don't know. I mean, it's not cell phones are not an option anymore. It's a must. It's a need. It's how people communicate nowadays. So I mean, I'm just saying. So basically, how the technology works, it's simple. According to their website and according to my research, it says it's a small implant that is placed in the brain. Okay? I guess they'll put a chip in your brain. I don't know how they're going to do that. I guess they need to probably construct a portal, for lack of better wording. I don't know what that word would be, or something where they can put a chip. Then that portal will be integrated to your brain, and I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of information on this. I know that you have to. It's got to be surgically placed in your body, in your head. So they put this small implant in your brain, and it has very thin threads that connect to your neurons or neurons, however you want to call it. I'm sorry, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm New Yorican, so I'm over here trying to do both languages, English and Spanish. And well, according to what it says here, it says these threads read the brain signals, interpret them, and then transmit them digitally. Wow, that's crazy. That's that's some Alfred Hitchcock type stuff, if you know what I mean. That's probably going to date me and say how old I am, but yeah, dee-doo. I mean, this is like wow, yeah. And then the potential future capabilities are controlling device with your thoughts. In other words, through your thoughts, you'll be able to answer phone, send text messages without touching the phone. Wow, that's crazy. You want to talk about some telepathic power. Whew, wow, that's amazing. Communicating directly with machines. I mean, I guess every machine that has uh, AI or anything like that, you will be able to communicate with, and integrating human thoughts with AI systems. Wow. So, in simple metaphor, right? Or comparison, if you missed that day at school when they taught that, basically your brain becomes a wireless device. Your brain becomes this. And your thoughts, or the person's thoughts who get this implant, will turn into data, and the mind starts interacting with machines directly. So your mind or their mind would be interacting with their cell phones. In other words, they're going to be able to look at their phone and give a command through their brain because of their chip in their head, and they'll be able to command that phone to do whatever they want that phone to do, or device, or whatever machine they're uh, I don't know. I mean, we have vehicles now like the Tesla, who's eventually will be a self-driving vehicle, or it is. I don't know. I don't own one, but if you own one, by all means, put it in the comments. Let me know. I'm basically uh, eagerly wanting to find out how does that work. Um, but uh, at this point, does help become integration? I repeat that. At what point does help become integration? Yeah, because now it's outside, but they're going to put it inside. You see? Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. I see. So let's see. So there's a lot of different people talking out there in social media. If you research Neuralink, there's people who have done videos like the one I'm making right now, and there's a lot of mixed emotions about it. There's a lot of mixed reactions. um some people are very excited about it, and I can understand, because I said it in the Spanish video. If you have a family member that uh has this type of situation, it gives them hope. It gives them that hope that they need in order for them to see their loved ones healed, etc., etc. And so there's a lot of people with excitement. There's other people who are um, in fear. Why? Because a lot of us who grew up. Well, I didn't grow up in church, but I've been, you know, in the church environment for over 30 years, and back in the 90s, all you heard was the mark of the beast. Jesus is coming. Um, the great tribulation and all this stuff. So when you start hearing this type of communication, or this type of noise, for lack of better wording, it could create some fear. It could create curiosity. Like me, I was curious about it, and it dawned on me. I was like, wow. I mean, what if this is the mark of the beast? What if this is leading towards that? And that's basically what this podcast is all about. We're trying to investigate you know, excuse me, and and bring it to you. Um, and also, other people probably want to, uh, you know, their emotion is probably to mock the religious concern. I mean, it's possible nowadays we have a lot of people that don't believe in the gospel, don't believe in Christ, don't believe in God, and they probably want to use that, to create a mockery. Who knows? Lord have mercy on them. Um, and many people dismiss spiritual questions as paranoia. Also, that creates a little bit of paranoia. But I mean, I don't see you having paranoia about your smartphone or your smartwatch, uh, QR codes, facial recognition, for example. Like, for example, I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of the Walmarts nowadays have facial recognition. What does that do? Well, what that do is if you've been convicted of stealing in Walmart before, and they recognize your face, uh, a couple guys, they're going to come and approach you and say, "Sir, you're no longer welcome in this place. You need to leave right now, or we're going to call the cops, or we're going to trespass you." So, yeah, not only Walmart, but a lot of stores out there are turning into that. In fact, I used to drive for a company that they had that when you sat at the wheel of the vehicle. If you weren't the person that it's supposed to be at the wheel of that vehicle, the vehicle will not start. I mean, as crazy as that sound, I mean, it's here. All that technology is here. In fact, there's cop cars, and the police officers probably won't want me to say this, but I have to say it. They are cop cars that have cameras in their vehicles. They have, I don't know, 100 cameras or something like that. And when they go by you, they're just not looking at your vehicle or running your plate. They're scanning your face to see if you're wanted. And if we're not there, eventually we'll be there. I know that the little city where I live, Pensacola, it's probably not like that. But in the bigger cities, I've heard of this. So, I mean, anything is possible. And then digital wallets. Digital wallets, like, for example, Apple Pay. A lot of people do Apple Pay. I'm guilty as charged for that. I've done that. So basically, um, you know, in 10 or 15 years ago, this sounded like science fiction, but today it's being tested on human. In fact, if you go to the Neuralink website, it says that they're looking for people who wants to be a part of that. You could volunteer yourself be to do that. If they ask me, no, thank you, I'll pass. um, no, don't think so. Um, and the speed of change is what should get our attention. It's just this is going really quick. So every major control system enter society disguised as convenience, right? Having and that's what they're doing. If you go to their website, I can't show you the website here, but be my guest. Go to the Neuralink website, and you'll see that they'll present it to you as it's something really, really good. And I'm not saying it's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm here to create an awareness. Okay, so technology dependence and control. Okay, so technology is not neutral. Okay, a lot of people tend to think that way, but it's not. Okay. Um, Technology shapes behavior, and it's true. In fact, I heard a commercial today on the radio, and that sounded crazy to me because it says if your son or your daughter is developing a addiction to social media, contact us. And it gave the phone number and the website where you can go. and they deal with people who are addicted to social media. We've seen behaviors of kids playing video games and their parents grab their video games and tell them to get out, and they give an attitude, and some of them get physical with their parents. So yeah, creates dependency. A lot of people depend on social media. A lot of people cannot go to sleep before spending an hour or two on their phone on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or stuff like that. And I heard also that YouTube, it's now integrated in TVs, and it has become the number one platform on TVs and in podcasts. Isn't that crazy? And I remember when YouTube first came out, it was just for you to have a channel. I remember we couldn't do videos more than 5 minutes, and now I'm able to do a whole podcast of 30 minutes. I can do a preaching for an hour. I can broadcast for 2 hours. I can do 24 hours a day if I want to. If I had the equipment and the capabilities to do, I would. I would have my own channel running 24 hours. So, yeah, it creates dependency. It redefines what is normal. What was normal back 30 years ago is not normal anymore. You see, I'm 53, so I can tell you what happened 30 years, 40 years ago, 45 years ago, before cell phones. I lived in that era where there was no cell phone. Hello. My son tells me all the time that I don't know, both of my sons tell me that, I don't know how you guys did it. Well, two of my youngest, I don't know how you guys did it back then. Well, we turned out okay, but that doesn't seem to be uh the case today. I gotta say it. You want to talk about total dependency? I depend on my phones. Why? Because this is how I do my social media ministry. This is how I do my work. My regular job is through the phone. So it has become something that is completely dependable. We need to depend on. Here's an example. Try to work without a phone. Try to navigate without the internet. Try functioning outside of digital systems. It's hard. It's not existent anymore. Control doesn't always come through force. Most of the time, it comes through comfort. And that's exactly what it does. It brings a level of comfort. Why? Because we're able to communicate with anybody. There's people that are going to watch this video in all parts of the world where people speak English. You feel me on that? So the most effective control system is the one that you choose, or that I choose, or the people choose. You see? Now, let's do the biblical connection here. No conclusions. Okay? Just biblical connection. The Bible speaks about systems. It's clear. Daniel spoke about systems. Revelations spoke about system. It's right there. You don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is go read it. Um, the Bible also speak about economic control. Revelations. You can go to the book of Revelations, chapter 13. It talks about that you won't be able to buy anything without the mark of the beast. If you stay here for the tribulation, you won't be able to buy anything. You won't be able to sell anything. You won't be able to function in this society. If you notice, how far have we come? Look, we came from cash to checks to credit cards to debit cards. I mean, most of the stuff we do now, it's through QR codes and online, and it gets debited automatically out of your account. I mean, we have become basically a cashless society. No one carries cash anymore. In fact, you want to hear something funny? The other day, there was this guy that was, panhandling. In other words, he was asking for money, and he even had his Cash App. He said, "Well, if you don't have cash, I take Cash App." That is crazy, but it's real. It's what's it's real. So economic control. It also, the Bible speaks about loyalty and allegiance. A lot of people will show loyalty to the beast and allegiance to the beast. This is for people who are going to be here for the tribulation. That's why you don't want to be here. Because listen, if you're a Christian and you stay here for the tribulation because you weren't faithful or you were iffy or you were in the fences about it, let me tell you this, you're going to watch your children, especially if you have children during the Great Tribulation, they're going to grow up and they're going to be hungry, and you're going to go like, I can't give you nothing to eat because no, you're going to go take that mark because you're going to think about your children, and that's going to be the end of it. That's why if I were you, I would worry first to be saved. Okay, start playing that church mode, that stop playing that mumbo jumbo stuff that they're offering out there because it's not real. The Bible is real. See, and your allegiance and your loyalty will be tested. And during that time, there's going to be a lot of people that, with a lot of regret, will take the mark of the beast because they stayed behind. And it's either that or your kids will starve to death. Your family members will die in the hospitals, whoever stays behind. I'm telling you. So it also speaks about worship tied to systems. Why? Because if you look at Revelations 13, I believe the verse 8, it says that they all worship the beast statue. It's there. It's in the Bible. And not everybody's going to be able to go there, but there's going to come through your phone and you're just going to have to bow down. And if you don't, you'll be in serious trouble. Okay? So hint hint, don't stay over here for the great tribulation. It's real easy right now. Accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you will be saved. Stop sinning. Stop living a sinful life. Go to church. Well, there's a bunch of hypocrites in church. Well, there's also hypocrites in your job. There's hypocrites in Walmart. There's hypocrites everywhere. And you know what? The church is not full of perfect people. It's full of imperfect people. We all need God. We all need Jesus. We all need the Holy Ghost. Mm, 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 mm. So we're not saying this is the fulfillment. We're saying the world is becoming comfortable with the concept. That's what we're saying. So if a global system like ex, this existed in the future, would humanity resist it or welcome it? So landing this airplane, you know, let me give you a short recap. We talk about what is Neuralink, how it works, why it's matter, why questions are reasonable. Questioning is not fear. Discernment is not conspiracy. The Bible calls believers to watch. And then in my next episode, we'll ask a more direct question. Should Christians be concerned? Where is the line between using technology and depending on it? So before you reject the idea, you should understand the technology. So remember, episode 2 It's coming right up. This is Milton Rivera saying to you, God bless you. May the face of the Lord, may the face of the Lord shine on you every day, all days of your life, and we'll see you the next time. God bless you.